Assalamualaikum, I'm Muhammad Aiman bin Azmi. Today I'm going to summarize experiment 1, which is Coulomb's law. This formula of Coulomb's law, which is FEKE Q1 multiply Q2 over R. Is a procedure that have a links and just follow up the lab manual physics, and this structure where which is we need to change the value of the result we got after we use that method, and just to follow up that procedure. Discussion. These three types of graph. We need to know that to find the electric constant K and the percentage error. For the last one is a conclusion. Conclusion is based on the objective that experiment achieve or not. The first one to certify Coulomb's law experimentally. The second one to study the parameter that affect the electric force. And the last one, the find electrometer the electric constant K. And then this conclusion is based on the objective and also the already achieved. All from me, thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ainul Mardiah binti Siti Ahmad. In this video, I will summarize about report experiment capacitance. In this lab manual, it has given a formula for finding capacitance, and it's basically for parallel plate capacitor. The procedure that we use to do the experiment, it has two parts. The result we get after we do the experiment, for part 1 we have 2, and for part 2 we have 1 result. So here the discussion we get from the experiment. This show that the energy remain constant. The charge on the capacitor will not disappear on the capacitor plate when the battery connection are removed, so it stays. By adding the dielectric, the capacitance is increased. By adding the here is the conclusion that we get. We can conclude this experiment is to study the capacitance experimentally. To study the capacitance of the parallel plate capacitor depend on area of the plate and the separation between the plates, which is when area of the plate or the separation increase, the capacitance will increase.
Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. My name is Nurfatin Najihah binti Muhammad Faizal, 2019
In order to make DC
28678
circuit,
from group
we need
15.
to
So I will
use
explain about the
voltage,
DC
emitter,
circuit.
wire, battery, resistor and switch. Same as part 1, but for part 2, we need to construct the circuit in a form of series circuit. So we just need to add it in the series form. We also need to calculate the voltage by using the voltmeter. Next, for part 3, we need to construct the next circuit in a form of parallel circuit. So we just need to follow the instruction and don't forget to calculate the voltage.
So this is the result from the experiment that you can get. So it have part 1, part 2 and part 3. And second is we can, from the experiment, we get the discussion. So there are 3 paragraphs based from the experiment. In conclusion, based on the experiment, we know how to measure the current and voltage in simple DC circuit. Besides, we also studied about the series connection of resistor. Last but not least, we studied the parallel connection of resistor.
That is all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I will present to you guys about magnetism experiment in PHY 150.
The procedure, that is very simple procedure. We just follow the step and we just see the result come out and we just identify the result and we got the answer from the question that we got from this experiment. Now I will explain to you guys about the result that I got from this experiment. Now we go to the discussion part. Okay, in this discussion part, I go to the important point that we got from this experiment. The first important point that we got is the red part of the needle is also full. This is because when we move around the compass, around the magnet, the red needle at the compass always showing the sulfur. Okay, next, when we move around the magnet, when we become closer to the magnet, the field strength was increased. And for the next step, we try to find the relationship between lobe and field strength, also between voltage and field strength. Okay, for the lobe and field strength, they have battery connected to a wire with lobe that has current running through it. So we use the field meter again to measure the magnitude of field strength by each lobe. We gain the lobe one by one and see the amount of magnitude of field. So then we can conclude the meter reading indicate that amount of the field strength by each lobe from 1 until 4 is gained, that is increased. So we go to the relationship between the voltage and the amount of field strength. We used 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10 voltage and we got the amount of field strength increased. The amount of field strength was increased as we increased the number of voltage. This conclusion that I can conclude this experiment is we could be able to recognize the magnetic field using the red needle of the compass on the compass. Other than that, we also could be able to determine the direction of magnetic field due to an electromagnet. And we also shown that we measure the strength of magnetic field as a function of distance from some value of lobe and from a current carrying wire. That is we can show that in experiment that we go through the voltage just now.
That's all from me. Thank you.